won't never spend my Bitcoin right now until it raises to where I think it needs to be. Remember that number, 100 million. I firmly bet my life that not in my lifetime, but maybe in my children's lifetime, that one Bitcoin today that's worth 40,000 is going to be worth about $100 million. So what do? I buy and stack for my kids. You can stack for your future.
Hello. All right. Hey, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve, where we are creating Satoshi millionaires. One family at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time, and that means you. Yes, I am your host, Najah Roberts, aka Young Harriet, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery. I am super excited about today. You know, I just had a drive down Crenshaw, and I have to tell this testimony. I drive for fun, for love, for whatever it is. I drive what I call a Bitcoin bug. So you may see me driving through the city with the Bitcoin bug on the side of it. It says, "Why buy Bitcoin?" And today was very, very eye-opening for me because I tell the story when I go to different conferences about how I drive this Bitcoin bug around the city of Los Angeles, and I get absolutely no response. And it has big letters on the side that say, "Why buy Bitcoin? Text this number." And I never get any text messages when I'm in the inner city. And it was my mission to change that. And so people would just look at me like I was crazy. And when I go on the west side, when I go to Santa Monica, when I'm over in Malibu, and I'm in my little convertible bug, ladies and gentlemen, people are jumping off the sidewalks. They are screaming. They're making U-turns. They're taking pictures. They are just, I've seen somebody run a red light to try to catch up with me to scream and put his thumbs up. Just to let you know the difference in what we understand in our communities. And again, that's on the west side. Well, today, driving down Crenshaw, I had people blowing their horns, snapping pictures of my car, and the car hasn't been out for a while. You know, during COVID, I kind of let it sit up. But the sun is out, the people are out, and I brought it out. And in our community, ladies and gentlemen, they are starting to wake up to what Bitcoin is. They're paying attention. I think I caught myself at least getting 4 or 5 pictures while I was driving down the street. So I'm excited about that. So what I do know is my mission is mass adoption and helping our community really understand what Bitcoin is. And I think this is a great start. I really got some inspiration today. So with that, as you know, we are observing Women's History Month. And my quote for today, because I missed the birthday of the young lady that I said I listened to and watched her documentary on the plane this weekend coming back from Vermont, was RBG, notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And so, Bader Ginsburg. And so in observance of Women's History Month, this is her quote. She says, "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." And so as we are in this quest to educate and introduce our community to Bitcoin, we have to live by those words, because I will continue to fight for those things that I care about, which is our community, understanding how Bitcoin works and how it can be beneficial to our lives. But I am absolutely going to do it in a way that will lead others to join me. And so I open my arms to you that are out there listening today. If you would like to join this quest to educate our community, please feel free to do so. For those of you that have not heard, I will be traveling to DC on April the 4th, and we will be occupying the steps of Capitol Hill with myself, the Black and the Latino community that are in cryptocurrency are all coming together to say we are here. You should see us. We are in your face, and we want you to recognize that Black and Latinos are in this space. And statistically, it shows that we're in this space more than any other demographic of people in this world. And we want our powers that be to know that we are here and we are a force to be reckoned with, and we would love for you all to join with us for that in Washington, D.C., if you're in the Washington, D.C. area. With that, when we come forward, we will do our honoree for today that's in the Bitcoin and blockchain space. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right. We are here with the head of the crypto curve, and I am Najah Roberts, and we are going to just really observe a black woman in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space for Women's Her Story Month. Today, we are going to honor Lavinia Osborne, and Lavinia is the founder and host of Women in Blockchain Talks, which is a female-led educational platform in the UK where women can network and learn about blockchain. Recently, she was on several different shows, and one of the quotes that I picked from her came from Cointelegraph, where she says, "Getting started in this revolutionary space is the key to change and adoption. So Women in Blockchain Talks wants to make it easy as possible for women and marginalized groups in particular to do just that." So today we honor Miss Lavinia Osborne, who is a fabulous woman in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. And ladies and gentlemen, I have the absolute pleasure to introduce a book for the day. And that book for the day is Bitcoin and Black America. And we're going to talk about that book. We are going to talk with the author of that book, who is very, very powerful in this space. He is moving things and making things happen. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say good afternoon to Mr. Isaiah Jackson. How are you today, Mr. Bitcoin Zay?
Doing great. Thank you so much. Glad to be here, Najah. Appreciate the intro.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I haven't given you the intro yet, because that was just lightweight. Because you all, well, you know what? We're going to let folks know what it is that you do. But I will say this, because I know that you are sort of like me. I'm going to say it that way. Always humble about what you are doing and what you're working on. But Isaiah Jackson is actually the co-founder of KRBE Digital Asset Group, and he is the author of Bitcoin and Black America. Right now, he is down in Miami, making some things happen. He has been working. If you go to his Instagram and his Twitter, and again, you can find him as Bitcoin Zay. But he has just been. You can take a look at all the work that he's doing in the schools, in the Carolinas, as well as in Miami. And so this gentleman is just incredible. And so Bitcoin Zay, I would like for you to just share with the listeners, and I got your book in my hand, and we're going to read a couple of things in here. But tell us how you grew up. Where did you grow up, and how did you grow up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I grew up with my parents, basically playing sports my whole life. And I've been in the tech world from very early on. I think every family has like the tech guy or who's the tech person call them. That was me. Every time somebody's computer would crash or something went wrong, that was me. So I've been in the tech field for a long time, since the 90s. And I grew up with my brothers, very competitive and always willing to learn. My mother was a teacher. Grandmother was a teacher. Aunt was a teacher. So education space has always been important to me. And, I went to NC State University for computer science, and that just grew a passion in me for the tech field and for teaching. And I discovered, Bitcoin from there. But that's how I grew up. And, again, my life before Bitcoin was mostly basketball, but it's still very competitive, and I just applied that to the Bitcoin world as I got older.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you to you for writing this fabulous book called Bitcoin and Black America. And for those of you that do not have a copy, please go to Amazon. Just Google Bitcoin and Black America and pick one of these books up. This is a must read. Our store, Bitcoin Buys or Us, has them on the shelf, and we've had them on the shelf since we've met the brother, actually. And so we really, really appreciate, what he is doing, the road that he is paving for our community. And so we're going to kind of dig into his book in just a second. But before you wrote Bitcoin and Black America, like, what inspired you to do this book?
hmm Yeah. Well, before I start, let me just thank you, Najah, because you were one of the few people around the country that would actually place my book in your store, in your lounge. Most bookstores wouldn't accept it. So first, let me just thank you there, Najah. I appreciate that. That's true.
No worries.
Yeah, that's true community work right there in the Black community. But what inspired me to write it was for years, I've been in the space since 2013, and for years, I've thought that the synergy between the Black community and Bitcoin was perfect. The Black community was shut out from many financial services, and Bitcoin allows us to access those financial services and to access a financial system that can't be taken away from us. And throughout our history, we've had a lot of our wealth stolen. We've seen Black Wall Street burned to the ground. We've seen inflation, taxation. We've seen redlining in different areas of the country where our property value wasn't able to increase. All of these things have been done in concert to keep us or shut out poorer people, which include a lot of the Black population, from financial institutions. So I wanted to write this book to tell Black people that we have a solution. We finally have something that can give us leverage in the Bitcoin and crypto space that nothing before could. And I wanted to write this book. The inspiration behind it really was speaking to thousands of Black people over the years and seeing the light bulb go off. I was like, hey, let me write a book so they can have one central place to go so that people in the Black community understand this is not some boys club with nothing but white males making all the money and having a good time. That's not what this is at all. This industry is for everybody. And I think we had to get over the mental hump of thinking that this wasn't for us simply because it was tech and finance based. We have to get out of that mindset. And that's why I wrote the book. And I'm glad that at this point, when I wrote it, we were the least likely demographic to use crypto. And as it stands 3 years later, we are the most likely group to use crypto. So I think that message just needed to be out there in the world, and it seems to have worked along with the work that you've done and others in the space.
Well, I think that this book definitely played a big part in a lot of folks really understanding how Bitcoin would relate to their lives as a Black American. And to that end, when you first open this book, and ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute must read. I don't care where we've been. If anyone asks us what the books are that we suggest to our community, number one would be Bitcoin and Black America. But there's a couple of things that I want to read out of there because I like to let folks that are listening know, because we have naysayers that are listening to us today. We have those that have started to dollar cost average, maybe just the $6 a day along with me. And then you have others that are all the way in the space. And then you have those that are getting into the space and all they know is NFTs. And then we've got folks in this space that are getting involved and all they know is the network marketing side. But all of those different ways that people get into cryptocurrency, what I like to let them know is that we are still just regular everyday people. And so I just want to read page 1 from your book so that they understand that, while you were definitely in tech, you were not this mastermind that created, the code to send people off to the moon or any of those things. When you found Bitcoin, you were a regular everyday person, as I was. And I just want to read this because he says, last to the party. And what we don't want you to be, Black and brown folks in America, is last to the party. And we are always last to the party. But what he wrote after he put last to the party in caps is, I was broke as SHIT. It was October 2013, and working as a high school teacher in the 4th lowest pay state was taking a toll. I was teaching 3 periods a day, attending multiple staff members, filing stacks of paperwork, maintaining a computer lab, and dealing with teenage emotions on a daily basis. As a public teacher, I was making around $2,600 a month, which was just enough money to be considered broke. To make matters worse, the payment was once a month. So good luck if you had an emergency. And I just have to say ditto to that, my brother, because I was working for the state of California, DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, and I was making almost exactly what you said you were making. And I was getting paid once a month. And I did have an emergency, and it was called getting pregnant. And I was no longer able to stay there. And I had to figure out what in the world I was going to do. And there's so many of us out here that are listening that may not have this particular situation, but your adult child might have this situation. And we really need to give our community hope and let them know we're not talking about Bitcoin as a get rich quick, but we are talking about it as an option and something that we can do. And so what would you say to someone right now that's on a job that wants to quit? And we're not talking about folks quitting their jobs, just jumping into Bitcoin. That's not what we're talking about. But what would you say to somebody that's in the exact same situation that we were in at that point, working 9 to 5 and barely making ends meet? What would you have to say to them about the hope in Bitcoin?
I would say you have to get truly tired of the way that you're living. You have to truly be tired of the fact that every dollar that you make is being taken away from you no matter how hard you work, and you have to, in your mind, say, I want to change. And I think that's where people need to start, because once people get that mindset that I need to change, I need to do something different, this industry can change your life in a year. 1 year, and this industry can change your life. Either working in the industry, learning about it, investing, buying it, and watching how the market moves, that's all it takes. So anybody that's in that same situation, that felt the same way I did, that feel like this is endless loop of going to work, coming home, paying bills, you have a way out now. There is a way for you to have a better life. And nobody is saying, like you just said, that you'll get rich overnight, but you can be more comfortable and you can create generational wealth long term.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I've expressed is that you don't always have to buy Bitcoin. You can earn Bitcoin. And we do know that you are right now earning Bitcoin because you work for one of the larger Bitcoin companies. You want to tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing over there?
Yes. So with CoinDesk, I
yes.
believe you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes. So CoinDesk is the biggest media company in the space, and I'm doing a show on there called Community Crypto. And basically what we do is we go to different communities around the world, and we explore some of the projects and some of the meetings and meetups and some of the ideas that they're discussing in their local community. And being able to work with CoinDesk has opened up an entire world of industry where you start to see that the crypto ecosystem is global. And I think people don't understand what we mean when we say that. That means that it doesn't matter what happens really in the U.S. This is going to continue on forever no matter what. And with CoinDesk, I was able to get that message out and basically spotlight a lot of communities, even the LA community. Was able to spotlight a couple people there. And I've had you on as well, Najah.
Yes.
My very first guest.
Yes.
So, that is what we've sought to do, and I think we're doing a great job. Again, that's Community Crypto. It's once a week, Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, and we just highlight different communities so that you can learn that within your local community, you can do the same thing with mining, with trading, with investing. All of those things are possible when you watch the show and see how some of these other communities work together.
Yes. And that is absolutely incredible. And you all, please replay this. This will be on the podcast if you miss any of it, so you can go back. We want you to find Isaiah and his show and start to look at it. And what I've done with his show and with a lot of other things that I'm seeing in the cryptocurrency space, saying to myself, like, how can this thing that they're doing be kind of equated to the black community? Like, how can we move in this same vein and make things happen for the black community, specifically the black and brown community? So I'm excited about that. And when talking about the book, Bitcoin and Black America, there was an excerpt that I also read because in here you definitely just come right out and say it. And I love how you are really just straight into the point. The circulation of the black dollar between businesses and consumers has been a goal of black entrepreneurs for years, for absolutely years. And you go on to talk about, how wealth can be created if we actually got that right. And so I guess what I want to ask you at this time is, you said the utility value of Bitcoin and the consensus among the black community to use digital currency can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And then you go on to explain, but I would like for you to explain to the black community how all of us using digital currency can be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Absolutely. So in the current financial market, if you look at certain communities where they have a lot of circulation of their dollars, Jewish community, Korean community, others, Latino, the circulation of the dollar with the businesses in their local community has enabled them to fund themselves, essentially, to send their kids to college, to fund entrepreneurial endeavors, all things that I think in the Black community we've started or we've tried to do, but it was always either broken apart or taken away through some sort of government mandate or through, other people who were jealous. And what I've figured with the Bitcoin community is that for the first time ever, we can think local but act globally, meaning if we can transact using Bitcoin or crypto amongst ourselves without returning back to the fiat system, we can basically have a closed loop system that gives us leverage, that gives us financial independence, and that allows us to dictate how we want to move forward in the future. When you use fiat currency, we have no power in dictating how we move forward in the future, simply because by the stroke of a pen, they can print more money and instantly your money is devalued. With Bitcoin, that's not possible. Also, in a digital sense, the ability to transact globally, but still stay within your local community actually brings resources to areas that did not have them before. So in a lot of the poorer neighborhoods, you have the ability to have this local economy using Bitcoin with the help of allies all around the world. Everybody around the world that's using Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is actually increasing the value of that network without you having to essentially even talk to these people. In fact, there's a great quote that says, Bitcoin is made for your enemies, which essentially means it doesn't matter who uses it. Nobody can stop you. So that's what I meant by having a circular economy, understanding that as far as business goes, your business should be available to everybody, but we should look at the Black community as a viable option and not just something that we look at for Black History Month or once a year I'm going to shop at these stores. No, we need to look at each other as viable entrepreneurs and equal opportunity, but not equal outcome. I think this gives us equal opportunity, and all we have to do is take the mantle and do it ourselves.
Definitely, definitely. And how do folks get in contact with you, Bitcoin Zay?
Oh, yeah. So Bitcoin Zay on Twitter and the Isaiah Jackson on Instagram. You can find me there. You can also find me on my daily crypto podcast, the longest running podcast in the world. The Gentleman of Crypto is on YouTube as well. We're at episode 910, and we answer questions daily on there via our comments.
Absolutely. And I don't know how I forgot that. This is the gentleman with the longest running cryptocurrency podcast that we have. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, and just so you know, Brother Isaiah, if you have time to hold on, please do. If not, don't worry about it. I'm going to actually skip after we come forward to your chapter that's talking about blockchain, because I think it's really important, some of the things that you say in there. I'm going to go over it, but I really appreciate your time. I know that you're busy, and our community is much better because we've heard your voice and we got an understanding about who you are and what you bring. Folks, go out and buy your copy of Bitcoin and Black America. It is anywhere books are found online, so go ahead and Google it and do that. And this is Ahead of the Crypto Curve, and I'm your host, Najah Roberts. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, and we are back with Isaiah Jackson, and there's a chapter in his book that talks about blockchain. And I have to admit, after really sitting down and reading through the book, I was trying to figure out exactly how I can fit in and what I could do to help move this project, this brilliant thought out project together. And he basically wrote at the end of this book, and again, you have to read this book because I just did a little bit from the beginning, a little from the middle, and the end. But he says, it would be a waste of time to write an entire book urging Black people to invest in Bitcoin without a working solution that uses Bitcoin. And then he went into and goes into the statistics as it relates to Black America and funding and working through getting involved in these opportunity zones and supporting what we need to do to move forward. So Isaiah, where are you in this quest to put the blockchain together?
Oh, yes. So currently we've built out the blockchain API, and we're actually looking right now. We're working out the specs to work out with the Digital Black Wall Street with you and Hill. In the future, we've discussed it before, but we're looking to basically apply that API so that we can change how we think of Black people in investments. And we're using Bitcoin as the base layer, as the collateral. And that was a chapter describing how you could basically use Bitcoin as collateral to get the loans and the investment that you want. And none of that has to come from the traditional market. So in that chapter, we talk about 98% of the investment going outside of our community, how opportunity zones, the ability to purchase properties, all of those things have sort of shut us out. But if you have Bitcoin as a community, you can use it as collateral currently to get cash loans, to purchase goods, services, properties, anything that you need, so that we can basically create a world where Bitcoin is our foundation and we can increase our living standards long term. So the blockchain API is already built out. We're just working out all of the kinks because we're imagining a world where we can get rid of the credit score, literally, completely get rid of it forever. And I know in the Black community, credit has been a huge problem with us. But imagine a world where your credit was based on a new system. Like the old credit system didn't matter. And Bitcoin was the basis of your new credit system, where all your credit is based off of is whether you pay back loans using Bitcoin as collateral. And that can create an entire new system for Black people where they can forget the past of maybe credit failure and start anew with a fresh credit score. So that is something that hasn't even been attempted yet in this industry. It takes a little while to build out. But I'm imagining a world where we can forget the past and basically move to a digital future where blockchain can basically connect us all and use our own capital to fund ourselves so that we can stop asking. Because at this point, I'm kind of tired of asking, can people please give us stuff? We should be at a point where we're ready to take it.
Absolutely. And I want to make sure that we are clear. We are saying black, BLACK chain and not blockchain. So just make sure that you are clear on that. And if someone is interested and wanted to invest in the blockchain, what would you suggest them do? Is there a company that they need to reach out to, or do they just reach out to you on social media? Some of our listeners.
Mm-hmm. So because it is a open source software, you'll be able to view it on GitHub, but you can reach out to me via social media if you want to discuss it more. Right now, we're not accepting funding. It's all self-funded. Like every project I've done so far in my life, it's all self-funded. But if we do open up investments, that will be available to everyone. And again, you can reach out on social media to see that announcement.
Okay. And so for those that are new in this space, they can go to GitHub. And then they can just type, they can just type in blockchain and they can find out about the project. So that is absolutely phenomenal. And thank you for that information. Now I would like for you to share with folks what you are doing right now, currently today, what you're working on, and how we can get involved to support you as you venture into all these different spaces. And ladies and gentlemen, I continue to say it every single day. We are living in history. I know you say, well, we're always living in history, but no, ladies and gentlemen, we are literally living in history. This executive order that came down last week is living in history. COVID-19 and lockdowns, we are living in history. But in this Bitcoin space, you are actually talking to right now and listening to a gentleman that is creating history in the blockchain space, in the Bitcoin space, as it relates to the Black community. So what are you working on now? What are you most happy about that you're working on now?
Oh, yeah. So the happiest thing right now in my life is building the Miami Bitcoin Academy. And as you stated before, I'm based in Miami now. I've been consulting the mayor of Miami, Mayor Suarez, for the last 8 months. And we are building Miami Bitcoin Academy, which will have 100 local students that will be able to attend, both adult and college age. And we'll also introduce, again, this year, the Bitcoin Summer Camp in Miami as well as a part of the Academy. And I want to shout out to you, Najah, because you had the Crypto Kids Camp first in L.A. And for those of you who don't know, you need to get your kids in that camp. If you don't know about it, Crypto Kids Camp. But we'll have that. And I'm most excited about the Miami Bitcoin Academy because we're creating a pipeline of high school, college, and then adult students to get into these careers. Because it's not just buying Bitcoin and buying crypto and getting rich overnight. Working in this industry for the same job that you do now, if you do it in the blockchain industry, some jobs are paying 30 to 40% more. And when you talk about a wage gap between Black Americans and others, that is a quick solution. And that's why I'm so excited about this Miami Bitcoin Academy, being able to introduce new students to new technology, and working with the city of Miami at the only historically Black college and university in South Florida, which is Florida Memorial University. So I'll be working with them for the foreseeable future and establishing myself in the Miami community. So anybody that wants to sort of get involved, we are looking at a similar thing in Detroit Bitcoin Academy, Atlanta, and of course in LA as well, where I've lived for many years before. So trying to get that Bitcoin Academy started and pushing it to other cities.
Absolutely. And so thank you for that. And we're just really excited about all the things that you have and are doing. And ladies and gentlemen, again, we got to support. As you heard him say, he is doing this out of his own pocket. Most of these projects, if not all of these projects, start with us coming out of our own pockets to really educate our community, because we believe that much in you. We believe that much in Bitcoin and what it can do to close the wealth gap in the Black and brown community. So family, reach out, support him through this book. Also, reach out on social media, figure out what it is he needs, what assistance he needs, because we definitely need each and every one of your support. We're talking to you all every single day about the different things that you can get involved in. He just said it again about jobs, like the jobs that you can get involved in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, as well as the blockchain space, are paying so much more than our traditional jobs. And we've got to get our kids ready. We've got to get our community ready to make these moves. We've got to get ready to make these moves. And you don't have to be all knowing about cryptocurrency. You can come in learning, as a lot of people do, but you have a head start because you now have ordered Bitcoin in Black America. You're listening to Ahead of the Crypto Curve in the morning. You're going on and listening to the Gentleman in Crypto. And so you have all these different things that you can be doing to ensure that you're getting the best information from folks that are not trying to run off with your money or do anything like that, because we are here for our community. We are here for you. And so again, thank you, Brother Isaiah Jackson, for coming to visit us today on our show. And we appreciate you. And if there's anything you need, please utilize that number, call in, because we're here every day and we can get it done. This is a very progressive radio station, and we're super excited about being here. So thank you again, sir.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, thank you. And I just want to say, you are a legend, Najah. Anybody listening, she's making history just alongside as me. Najah is a legend in this space and is creating her own. Forget Black history. This is American history. She's changing the world. So thank you so much, Najah.
Thank you so much as well. You have an incredible rest of your day. Tell the wife and your beautiful baby I said hello. And thank you to each and every one of you. This is KBLA Talk 1580. When we come forward, we got some news for you. Peace and blessings. All right. We have a caller, Terrence. Welcome to the call.
Hey, thank you very much, Najah. How you doing today?
I am incredible. How are you today?
Beautiful. I'm doing well, sister. Just had to call in and just thank you for the platform. Thank you for having Isaiah on. You guys just spread so much beautiful information, and it's so needed. It's so powerful. A lot of times I get busy, don't get the opportunity to catch the show, but got a chance to catch it today. Had to call in. And I must say, as a student of people like Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics, just what you guys are doing in the space of cryptocurrency and wealth creation, actually teaching our folks to be able to produce generational wealth is groundbreaking. You are actually making history, and you are definitely appreciated. Sitting up here with my wife, Kim, we're just loving it. We're loving it, and just want to encourage you to keep going.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you and Kim being there and being the support, and thank you for calling in today. And we appreciate you just as much as you appreciate us, because you all are the reason that we're doing what we're doing. And when we see successful families, when we see successful couples, it's really, really important that our community really understands, that money is not everything. And we always say that, but it definitely keeps a healthy family together, where people are not bickering and fighting over monies, because we do know that in our communities and in our household, those are some of the words and the things that have to do around money that break up happy households. And so we want to get that wealth in. We want to continue to be thriving and not just surviving. So thank you for that. And I appreciate you as well. Thank you for calling in.
That's right. You're welcome. Thanks a lot. Take care. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate you as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we are going to do our dollar cost averaging because, as I say, a DCA a day keeps poverty away. So while I am on a break, and while we are coming forward, we want you to download that Black Wall Street wallet and get ready because I'm going to show you how to DCA. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, everyone, it is time for our dollar cost average. And every day live on the air, I buy $6 worth of Satoshis. For those of you that do not know, a Satoshi is the smallest increment of a Bitcoin. You have 100 pennies in a dollar, and there are 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. So today is your day to start dollar cost averaging. So you can download the Black Wall Street wallet. It is in your Google store or in your Apple Play Store or Apple Store, and you can start today. You do have to do KYC, which is know your customer, just like you have to open up a bank account somewhere. You definitely have to do that in the Black Wall Street wallet as well. But DCAing is the way to get into Bitcoin without just going all in. And again, I always tell you, as an ex-financial advisor, not providing any financial advice, you need to diversify your portfolio. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. So if you can withstand a $6 cup of Starbucks, you can withstand buying $6 worth of Bitcoin. So that's why we are doing $6 one day at a time. And so what you're going to do is you're going to open up your Black Wall Street wallet, which happens to be purple. It's black with purple and light blue, like a crescent moon on it. And when you go in there, you're going to click on the purple circle with the white arrows. You're going to click on buy Bitcoin. You're going to allow the frequency to say one time. You're going to then click on the $6 and you're going to hit continue. After you do that, it's going to show you the price of Bitcoin today, which is $41,438. But again, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy Satoshis to add up to an entire Bitcoin, which is what my goal is for you and your family. And what we're going to do today is purchase that $6. It cost me with the Black Wall Street wallet 11 cents, which I am going to hit confirm. And ladies and gentlemen, I have just purchased $6 worth of Satoshis, which is adding up to be a whole Bitcoin at some point in my cryptocurrency life. And this is all it takes for you to do this manually every day. If you don't want to do it manually every day, you go in and you just set it up and you forget it. And that's all you have to do to dollar cost average. What we also want you to do is make sure that you're looking at a later date to taking your Bitcoin off the Black Wall Street wallet and putting it into your own private wallet. This is all about self-sovereignty. That wallet will allow you to have your Bitcoin 100% offline in your storage, in your custody. Again, self-sovereignty. And we do courses to help you. We do courses to help you learn how to set up those ledger wallets. Those are available. If you reach out to me on social media, I can get you set up with that. And we want to make sure that we are really educating our community. And that is why if you have any questions, some of you may not want to call in and get on the radio, but if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I am Najah Roberts on all social medias. No dots, no periods, no underscores, none of that stuff. It's just Najah Roberts on all social media. And I would love to answer any of your questions, but you can also meet me here every single day, Monday through Friday, on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, please, ladies and gentlemen, ask your friends and family to download the KBLA Talk 1580 app. I really am asking our community to do that. This is in an effort to help spread the word about what we're doing and about what this fabulous radio station is doing with the many talents that are on here every single day. Listen in to some of these other shows as well so you can get critical information that will help you and your family. And y'all don't touch that dial because it is time to make way for the DL Hughley Show. And as I will always say, DL is the truth. Absolutely love what he has to share. And this is Najah Roberts on Ahead of the Crypto Curve, and this is KBLA Talk 1580, and we are unapologetically progressive.